Now let's look at a few new functions in R. The purpose of this little snippet of code is to create random coordinates, random numbers, and we're going to look at a few different functions here. Let's look at this one first. rnorm is a random number generator off a normal distribution. So let's look up rnorm in help. And it's about the normal distribution, and there's various functions here, various commands here with the normal distribution, and one of them is rnorm. That's what we're going to use, rnorm, and basically it takes the argument of n, how many to generate, what the mean should be for the normal distribution, and what the standard deviation should be for the normal distribution. So how many random numbers should be generated with the mean of a certain value and a standard deviation of a certain value. So looking at this function here, x equals rnorm, n equals 5, mean of 5 and standard deviation of 2. What this is going to do is generate 5 random numbers. That's what the n equals 5 says. Generate 5 random numbers from a normal distribution where the mean of the normal distribution is 5 and the standard deviation is 2. So if we ran this normal distribution many times and added up the generated numbers, it should have a mean of 5. So when I run this function, we'll select the whole function. And when we do that in RStudio, it'll run the selected text. So I'm going to hit run, and it's going to run that function here. It ran that function, and now we have a new variable x. The new variable x has 5 elements, the random numbers listed here. And if we ran this many times, let's keep running it. I'll keep running it, and you watch how these numbers change, and they're always sort of a random number. And the mean will be 5, and the standard deviation will be 2 if I do it enough. The same thing happens here with the y variable. Okay, so the y variable will do the same thing. I'll just hit run, and you'll see it's a bunch of different random numbers with a mean of 5. Now, the other part to this statement is there's going to be a third element to our data frame. The data frame function creates data frames. So it takes the arguments and makes a data frame out of it, and it's going to assign to the variable named test data a data frame with these elements in it. So let's select this and run it and see what happens. Basically, we're creating a random coordinates data frame with x and y being random. Let's do this command, run it, and you'll see test data here. Let's look at test data. Test data has num from 1 to 5, x randomly generated, and y randomly generated. And we can run that again. If we run it again, we'll get a set of different variables. Let's go back to the function. It's all selected. Run it again. Test data now looks different. So every time we run the rnorm function with these parameters, it's going to generate a new set of random numbers. What's interesting here is now we can look at these data with the qplot command from ggplot2. You're going to basically plot the x coordinate and the y coordinate in a scatter plot. What this does here is give a limit to the x and y axes. It's going to go from 0 to 10. X and y go from 0 to 10 in each one. Let's run qplot on the data set. Here's the output of the data. Here's the y-axis from 0 to 10, the x-axis from 0 to 10. Here are 5 random points. Let's go to the test data here and just see if there's a point here at about x 6.4 and y 5.7. So 6.4, 5.7, that's that point there. So this qplot function generates the graph of the random coordinate system. Let's go back, and what we have here is another command that says within the test data frame, Let's run a correlation between x and y. Run this command and we will get the correlation coefficient for x and y in this set of numbers. I'm going to show you this code I've selected. It's this sequence of code here, generating a random coordinate frame, plotting it with this command here, and then doing a correlation. Let me run it and see what happens. Now watch what happens to the picture here. We get a warning message, and when you run this code too, you might get a warning message also. What this means is that one of the data points is outside the range of 0 to 10. And that happened here at point 3. One data point was not shown in the scatter plot. But let's go back to the code again. Let's run it again. We should get a different set of points here. These are randomly chosen points. And then we can come over here and see the correlation coefficient of these points. So run it again. We can just keep running this. And you see the correlation coefficient change and the points change. So this is a nice little snippet of code to generate random numbers. Now this graph here, randomly generated, looks like a very nice correlation. That's a high correlation coefficient, and it looks like this is sort of in a line together, and that's why this number is so high. Keep running the code, and you can see here we only have 4 points, and the warning message shows up again with a lower correlation. So new functions in this little video were the data frame function, creating a data frame, the rnorm function to generate a set of random numbers with a certain mean and standard deviation, the qplot function, plotting the x and y elements randomly generated in the previous command, and then running the with command, which says just look at test data and do the correlation of the x and y in the data frame. So new functions, with, qplot, rnorm, and data frame were described in this little video.